All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Donovan Sadiq. I'm the Inland Empire Informer, and I am here to give you an update on what is going on. Please excuse my menagerie here. I have my animals running around. The heat, they're all indoors. So you got Highland, Misty, and of course, Benny the Pity. Benny, come here. All right, a lot of stuff going on in the Inland Empire. We'll see how it goes. But I want to bring your attention to that piece of crap, Corey Jackson. Now, recently I have found that Mr. Jackson, and I use that word very, very loosely, Mr. Jackson has recently was caught speaking at the California Assembly. And this man, I use that loosely, this man, very loosely, basically has said this. California Dem Corey Jackson urges lawmakers to allow Californians to make the final say on redistricting. Wouldn't that be an example of talking out the side of your neck, out of both ends of your mouth? Here's a man who willingly supported without question illegal immigration that added billions of dollars to the California deficit. And now when this redistricting thing happens, he wants to let the people decide. Well, the people have already decided. It's already in law that redistricting is in the hands of the people. What is this idiot talking about? But this is what I mean by these politicians who, they don't give a shit about us as people. And guys, please excuse my language, but this person gets me so damn upset. Why? Because he is my representative in my district, and I didn't even vote for him. You always got to question a candidate if they come from a certain ethnic background and they don't get a majority of their votes from the background that they come from. Why? There is a big reason why Corey Jackson did not get a lot of black votes. He is unapologetic LGBTQ. He is unapologetic a Democrat. He is unapologetic illegal immigration. He's unapologetic everything else but black people. He was one of the instrumental people involved in the stopping of reparations for black people here in California. It's not my bill. That's what he'll tell you. Well, it wasn't my bill, but I saw you with my own eyes up there with everybody else when the bill was being proposed and you were all clapping it up, whatever, and all of a sudden now it's not your bill. So you want the glory when it looks good, but then you don't want the glory when it looks bad. And this situation here with the redistricting, he's doing the exact same thing. Would redistricting even be an issue if this idiot had not voted to fund illegal immigration? So basically, he chose non-citizens over citizens. That's what this guy's about. So if you don't believe me, look at this video here, and you're going to find this idiot saying it for himself. Now he's going to try to save his career because the Democrats' numbers are in the dumps. And, you know, these Democrats, they don't know what they stand for. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent thinker, but I'm also a resident of the 60th District. And this Negro needs to go. He has done nothing substantive that's helping the 60th District. We get performative stuff. Ooh, look, I did this for you, black people. Look, it's a commemorative this, and remember that. And ooh, look. He hasn't done anything for the 60th District. So take a look at this video, and you guys tell me what you think about it.
Mr. Jackson, we are not going to allow props today.
Not a problem. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to rise because it's hard to have a thorough discussion or debate in which today has been a very good debate. When we talk about the role of democracy, it simply cannot happen without a real consideration and a real review of our U.S. Constitution and the Federalist Papers themselves to understand the real wisdom of our founders and just how much thought they put into all the different checks and balances that were necessary to ensure that this democracy can hold. And one of those things is found in the Federalist Papers number 10, where Madison specifically talks about the roles of the state. And over 200 years ago, Madison said that there will be a time where a fractious leader will emerge. And that fractious leader will begin to do things to consolidate power. There will be a time when the executive and the legislative and the judiciary fail their constitutional responsibility to properly provide a check and balance. So Madison says, therefore, is now up to the states to provide yet another stopgap, to begin to hold on, to slow down this fractious movement until the next election cycle. So there is something special that we are doing today. There is something very constitutional that we are doing today to ensure that we do our part of having the most fair election process as possible given the circumstances of the nation. And then in the Federalist Papers number 16, Hamilton says that at the end of the day, when our three branches of government may fail, even the actions of states may fail. But Hamilton says something beautiful. He says, when it all else fails, that the number one protector of our democracy he calls the natural guardians. And those natural guardians are the people themselves. And so an assembly constitutional amendment says the legislature has a recommendation for you, natural guardians, that we believe is important enough for you to consider. But at the end of the day, this democracy is not ours. We are only your representatives. At the end of the day, the democracy and the preservation of this democracy lies in your hands.
30 seconds.
Therefore, there's nothing more democratic. There is nothing more constitutional. There is nothing that fulfills both the letter and the spirit of our democracy than to allow the people of California to make the final say. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
What a piece of shit. All performative. Are you entertained? Are you entertained? Here's a man that will put everything ahead of his own constituents. He has not one record for black people. And the sad thing is he preys on the older black people who just don't give a damn anymore. The older black people, they just want to leave the earth in peace and tranquility. The older black people, they're not concerned about their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. These kids are not going to be able to enjoy the American dream. This guy is for illegal immigration. This guy is for pro-criminal. Done nothing to help the American citizen, but does everything to help illegal immigration. How do you vote to fund illegal immigration and then you have a problem with the redistricting? How? Are you entertained? Political theater. They both play this game. And it's sad. But this is piece of shit Corey Jackson. Again, I'm going to be doing a lot of videos in regards to Mr. Jackson because this man is a joke. Did you guys see the African dashiki? Here's a man who wears what is considered an African kente cloth. And Africans don't even practice Pan-Africanism with us. I've been to Africa several times. It's about tribalism. If you are not part of their tribe, you're a foreigner. You're no different than a white person or Asian person or whatever. You're a foreigner to them. But this Negro, see how performative he is? He wants to put on the kente cloth like he has anything to do with Africa. Majority of his constituents aren't even African. It's just performative. It's embarrassing. And did you see his mannerisms? He's trying to talk like a great speaker because he's the Martin Luther King Jr. of the California Assembly. A label he gave himself, which is to me very insulting, being that you are a member of the LGBT community. And Martin Luther King Jr. was a Christian pastor. Very, very disrespectful. So I've told you guys about a man named Ed Delgado. Ed Delgado, he's a city council member here in California. He is going to be running against Corey Jackson, and him, Chad Bianco, and a lot of other people, we are just fed up with the nonsense. Because all of this is nonsense. If you do not have a border, you do not have a country. You do not prioritize illegal people over your own citizens. This clown Corey Jackson and the rest of the Democratic representation have doomed cities to where people have lost their jobs. And you know what? You guys want to know what the crazy thing about that is? There are a lot of people who are so liberal. They're out there protesting and, there's no such thing as an illegal person, whatever. Because of the deficit shortfalls these cities are facing, these people have basically supported the loss of their own jobs. Because they supported illegal immigration. That's what it comes down to. If you don't want to believe anything else I have to say, if you are a city worker and you are pro-illegal immigration, you just cost yourself your own job. Karen Bass isn't going to give up her job. Corey Jackson isn't going to give up his job. So why should we reward him? Because some of you guys that at no fault of your own that lost your job because of illegal immigration. Because you weren't with the foolishness. Don't sit there and tell me you're pro-union and you're for illegal immigration. Illegal immigration hurts union jobs. We need to wake up, you guys. Common sense. Let's just get back to common sense. You've got to take care of your home first before you can help anybody else. I've flown on many airplanes, and I have never once heard a flight attendant ever tell me, put on somebody else's mask before I put on my own. Because we know in a rapid decompression, you're going to be out in seconds. So you've got to put your mask on first before you want to assist anybody else, much less your own children. These city employees that are now facing job loss have now put their family in crisis. Think about that. You're so pro-immigration, now you're about to lose your job. What did the illegal immigrant lose? They could always go back to their home country. But you lost your job. And guess what? Your house isn't paid for. You got car payments. I don't know if you have a husband or a spouse. Two incomes. But this is the BS that the Democratic Party constantly puts on emotional people. People that refuse to use their basic logic. What is in my best interest? I'm going to sit here and tell you guys right now, if being a Democrat is in your best interest, continue to do that. Corey Jackson will continue to be a Democrat because they pay well. If you're getting a white envelope from the Democratic Party, good for you. If it's in your interest to vote Republican, please do that. But what I want you guys to understand, especially my black brothers and sisters, I want you to understand this. No matter how many movies you watch, reality is reality. In this capitalistic system that we live in, black people are at the bottom. And because we're at the bottom, that is how the system is built. Illegal immigration affects us the most. Because those entry-level jobs, though they're not glamorous, though they do not pay well, those are the jobs we traditionally start off at. When you bring in other groups of people that we have to compete with for those jobs, it hurts our community. We don't get those opportunities. So some of my friends who work for the city and county of Los Angeles that have now lost their jobs have to face this reality. They have now put their family at risk of foreclosure, homelessness. And this is by design, you guys, in the black community. Gentrification is by design. I don't need to speak on other groups, but I'm going to give you a good example. I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. The very person who helped write that song and perform it, husband, was deported because they want to be white adjacent. They didn't do their homework. This man told you what he was going to do. And yet, this group of people, this group of Latinos, thought it was in their interest to vote for Donald Trump. And now he's doing what he said he was going to do. And they have a problem with it. Make this make sense, you guys. Here in the Inland Empire, we have to do better because that gentrification is affecting us. Because those people that can no longer afford to live in Los Angeles, they're moving out here. And the more they move out here, the more eastward Californians are moving because we can't afford to live here. Look at the license plates when you're in traffic. I have never seen so many people riding dirty. Riding dirty. I have a 2003 Hyundai Tiburon. It cost me $200 to register my car, and California is still in a deficit. Where is the money? Where is this money going? Billions of dollars on homelessness, and the situation got worse. But I'm the problem because I'm asking these questions. Inland Empire, when you're in traffic, look at the license plates. I see more Laguna Niguel. I see more Glendale. I see Long Beach. I see Pacoima. License plates you would have never seen 5, 10 years ago out here in the desert. I'm even seeing Victorville, even though Victorville is part of the Inland Empire, the high desert, but I'm seeing that they're moving lower to the lower desert. What's going on, you guys? What is going on? Corey Jackson does not deserve another term. When you are not good at your job, you get fired. Unfortunately, a lot of people are getting fired because they voted for their own oppression. They supported illegal immigration, so those people are going to lose their jobs because they didn't think this out. Even if you were, and you have a bleeding, I'm for legal immigration. But I can't feel sorry for people who put non-citizens above their own citizens. I can't feel sorry for an illegal immigrant when there are millions of Americans sleeping on the streets, much less veterans. Can't do it. Then I ask myself this question. If I went over to Mexico or any other country illegally, what would happen to me there? But Corey Jackson and Democrats just like him prioritize immigrants, illegal immigrants, over American citizens. And they expect to be reelected. Are you guys serious? Why don't you look at this clip of Mr. Ed Delgado. He's running with Chad Bianca. They're going to be doing a meet and greet. If you guys want to come out and listen to what they have to say and what their platform is. Take a look at this video. All right, that was Ed Delgado, and he is being supported for the State Assembly. And Wednesday, September 10th, 6 p.m. to 7:30, the Victoria Club, 2521 Arroyo Drive, Riverside, California. You could do a meet and greet with him and Sheriff Chad Bianco and listen to what they have to say. If you want to make a donation, there's a way to do that, I'm very sure. But this video was by the Riverside Media Group. It's Ed Delgado for Assembly, and that's who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to vote for Ed Delgado. Never have I had an opportunity to vote for him because he's not my representative here in the city, but he's a straight shooter. He's also a veteran, Coast Guard veteran, lifelong public servant. You know, I would rather deal with somebody that's going to tell it to me straight than tell me, oh, well, we could support the migrants or we could support this without raising your taxes, and yet the taxes are being raised. Californians have real problems, and these people that are occupying these seats have no answers. They have no answers. I like straight shooters. I don't care, how I personally feel or how they personally feel about me. I vote what's best for me and my family. And Corey Jackson is not it. Ed Delgado's record here in Moreno Valley, California, I can say this. He's been on the right side of a lot of issues more than he's been on the wrong side. He's a straight shooter. He was the number 3 sheriff in Riverside County. So he also has a lot of connections, which is very, very powerful. And I also think as a Moreno Valley resident, which Ed Delgado also is, if you're a Moreno Valley resident, of course, it's in your best interest to have somebody from the very city that you're from that's going to be representing you, so that you and the city itself could benefit from him being on the assembly. And, you know, and moving those dollars. Corey Jackson hasn't done that. He hasn't moved any dollars to make the Inland Empire 60th District better. If anything, it's excuse after excuse after excuse. And that's just what it is. All right, you guys, I'm Donovan Sadiq. Again, Wednesday, September 10th, 6 p.m. to 7:30, Victoria Club, Riverside, California. Ed Delgado for State Assembly. He'll be there in support of Chad Bianco and Ed Delgado. If you guys want to show up to that, that's going to be great. You could also go to his website page. I'm sure, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'm sure if you Google it, you will see it there. And I'm going to tell you, I would not endorse a person if I haven't done my research on them. And I can tell you, he's a straight shooter. If you guys want the truth for what it is, he's not a lifelong politician. This man served 2 terms, I guess, as city council. He said he's out. He's been a lifelong public servant. This man deserves for him and his family to go do other things. But he sees the need that we have here in the Inland Empire, and Corey Jackson isn't getting it done. I'll give you guys some more information as things progress. I'm Donovan Sadiq. I am the Inland Empire Informer, nationally known as the Recovering Democrat. You just now have been informed. Have a good night.